Welcome to Module 5. We are more than halfway into this course, and it might have taken you several months. It might have taken you more than a year or even two to get to this point. And that's totally fine because the concepts I have presented in this course are things piano students learn over many years. So if you're taking your time and going slow, don't feel like you're slow. Actually, take your time to learn one thing at a time really, really well. I hope you are enjoying your journey though. I sure have enjoyed creating this course and teaching you, and it's just been a gift to myself to really put what I have learned as a musician and a teacher into this course. So it has been my privilege to teach you, and I hope that you continue to enjoy being guided by me. This course is called Piano Mastery Intermediate. Mastery does not come without effort. So I know that if you are really going through the lessons and trying to keep up with what I'm asking you to do, this is taking effort. And that is the only way we can acquire mastery, effort, and time, and passion. It is when we actually put effort into something that we care about, we end up really valuing it, and we end up really enjoying it. So keep that in mind too as you go forward. In this module, we are going to talk about minor keys and minor scales. Now, when we talk about minor keys, if you read on the internet or something, people usually talk about it as this is like a darker, sadder tone. And that's quite true. It sounds darker to play C minor than C major. But also minor keys and minor chords are very flexible, being able to adapt in different kind of cultural contexts and different kinds of rhythms. For example, salsa is in minor. But we wouldn't necessarily think that that's sad. It's actually very joyful. There are a lot of like sailors music. Kind of sounds like Pirates of Caribbean. So if you listen to that, that is also not sad. It has a sense of a mystery. There is a little bit of darkness as well. What's another example? Something that's a little bit more like Celtic-ish. That's Greensleeves. And yes, it's a little bit like moody as well, but it's not necessarily sad. So keep that in mind as we continue to talk about minor keys and minor scales. Just be open and be aware of the richness and the variety minor keys and minor scales bring to music. Hi, I'm Kristina Lee, and thank you so much for watching this video. This is actually a lesson from my new course, Piano Mastery Intermediate. Students from all over the world have already told me how much they're enjoying my course because of the clarity of the teaching and how they get to apply the concepts and technique and theory into learning pieces that are satisfying and beautiful. If you consider yourself a late beginner to somewhere in the intermediate level of piano playing, and you like to go deeper in your studies and develop a comprehensive musicianship, please check out my course. Now let's look at page 3, minor keys and the circle of fifths. I want you to go ahead and look at that. And we've already talked about the circle of fifths and how we understand by either going through clockwise or counterclockwise from the top of the circle of the fifths. If you look at the inner circle, we actually have the minor keys. Now, this is called relative minor. So every key signature is where we have how many sharps or how many flats, or no flats or sharps. Every key signature can be either a major key or a minor key. And we call that relative major or relative minor. For example, C major has no sharp or flat, and its relative minor is A minor. G major has one sharp, and its relative minor is E minor. So one way to remember the relationship between the relative major and relative minor is that the relative minor is the sixth note of the major scale. So for example, C, D, E, F, G, A, the relative minor key is A. G major, G, A, B, C, D, E, that's the sixth note. That's G major's relative minor, and they both have one sharp. So this adds to another layer to reading music. When you just look at the key signature, we don't actually know if it's major or minor. How do we know that? There are a few different ways of knowing it, but I would say the most important thing is to listen to the kind of sound. The quality of the sound usually will tell you if it's in major key or minor key, where the music wants to like neutralize or rest. Like I'll just use Twinkle Twinkle again, right? It's that's where the music wants to rest, which is C major. Let me play this in minor. So by just listening, we start feeling whether it's a major key or minor key and where the music ends up resting. So that's one way to know whether it's a major key or minor key. There are many other ways to know it as well, but for now, I'm just gonna stop there because that's just a good place for us to end. So for now, I just want you to listen to the kind of sound you're playing and just keep in mind that it could be a major key or a minor key.